like water, and we don't think about it. That's the moment of success, and we're like not even 2% there. That's why I'm so excited to like wait for that future to arrive.
On price action alone, I'm very bullish. On network model, it's growing faster. More people are coming to the network faster than that happened to Bitcoin at the same stage with the same number of users. There's more development going on it, more applications going on it. It's kind of like, and they're just reducing the supply with the, EIP 1559 and then ETH 2.0. There's like only 11% of all ETH left on exchanges.
I need to find out how you price Ethereum, because I have a feeling it's exactly the same as Bitcoin. And what was interesting is I used the same mechanism and it's priced exactly the same way. But what was more surprising is the adoption of Ethereum was much faster than that of Bitcoin at the same stage. So I'm like, wow.
Ethereum has a huge first mover advantage. It's on every major exchange. When people build stablecoins, like Gemini's built the Gemini dollar stablecoin, you start building it on Ethereum. There's so much building that's been happening there that that's where you want to go, because that's where eyeballs are.
Welcome to Crypto Revolution. In this video, we'll take a look at Ethereum, which is often described as the future of banking. Today, we'll feature top analysts discussing this cryptocurrency and its mind-blowing potential. First, we have the Winklevoss twins, who co-founded the Gemini digital asset exchange as well as family office Winklevoss Capital Management. The twins have predicted the price of Ethereum to possibly reach $40,000 in the long run, with a target price between $5,000 and $10,000 for the end of this year. We also have Raoul Pal, who has often declared he is an Ethe Bull. Once again, he talks about Ethereum and why it's going to dramatically outperform Bitcoin. In this video, we'll showcase two clips of him sharing more about why Ethereum is the biggest and clearest bet of all the cryptocurrencies. Lastly, we have ex-ARK analyst James Wang, who shares that Ethereum is the most exciting currency in the market right now. He is definitely one of the most popular Ethereum bulls out, and continues to share Ethereum's great potential. With Ethereum prices skyrocketing to record highs, these top crypto analysts, Winklevoss twins, Raoul Pal, and James Wang, are doubling down on their bullish Ethereum predictions. Watch till the end of the video to know what they have to say about #Ethereum.
Ethereum and Ether, being digital oil, and Ethereum being the world's decentralized virtual computer, or like decentralized cloud computer. That's a whole nother application and frontier that's super exciting. So I guess my point is that Bitcoin's really important, but there's also some really other interesting stuff. When you think of the way the internet right now is, the internet's centralized, and it's the FANG companies. There are these data silos. It's a centralized social network, centralized compute with Amazon, or centralized storage with Amazon S3 buckets. Bitcoin gave us the blueprint to decentralize anything. So a lot of these networks are taking that blueprint. Bitcoin decentralized gold, right? Ethereum's decentralizing cloud computing. The belief is that when a product is very sticky and has a lot of product market fit, a lot of users and momentum, something has to be 10x better for people to switch. Ethereum has a huge first mover advantage. It's on every major exchange. When people build stablecoins, like Gemini's built the Gemini dollar stablecoin, you start building it on Ethereum. There's so much building that's been happening there that that's where you want to go, because that's where eyeballs are. The thing that has to happen though is scalability and throughput. Its ability to process many transactions cheaply. So right now, because that migration, so Ethereum 2.0 or Ethereum 2 is promises to solve this, and that migration is happening. But right now, there can be so much excitement that if things get hot, or Ethereum can fall victim to the weight of its own success. So transaction prices go through the roof when there's a lot of activity and people are moving through different projects. So if it doesn't scale or make that migration successfully, which I do believe it will, then that could be a problem.
And just to build on that, Tyler, to take like the other side of Ethereum, it's sort of theirs to lose. If you look at the operating space, there are a few major operating systems around the world. You've got OS, iOS, Android, Linux, Windows. So it's not just sort of one operating system. There are network effects for sure, but we do see a couple of really big systems, at least in computing. And so it is possible that some newer layer one protocol says, hey, we're going to start at proof of stake. We're going to make a better smart contract language. It's easier to program, more secure. I think Tezos is an example of a project that launched with these things from day one. It hasn't had the same uptake, at least yet, as Ethereum. Maybe Solana's up there as well. I'm not as familiar with that project, but I think that there's going to be opportunities for other people to enter the race with potentially a 10x better project. But I think in my mind, it's a question between Ether winning all or winning a very, very big chunk of an enormous pie. I think it's in either case, it's an incredible long-term hold. The question is how incredible, what varying degree of incredible. I think you're right. 5,000, 5 to 10 feels like a reasonable range towards year end. And I guess if we're currently at Ethereum's maybe 50% market cap of Bitcoin, and we think Bitcoin's a 10x from here, I see no reason to believe that Ethereum isn't at least a 10x sort of lockstep. Right.
And maybe quite frankly, a lot more, to my previous comments about how do you put a bound on this type of innovation and creativity? You really can't. So
I look at the chart, the ETH Bitcoin cross. It's forming this little wedge pattern short term. I think it's going to break that any day now. Then the next move is to 0.08. Mm-hmm. That is the big level. It's the massive kind of resistance level. And if it goes to that, that cross is going to move up at least 100% or more. So basically my view is that ETH is going to dramatically outperform Bitcoin. I mean, already this year, ETH's up 350% and Bitcoin's less than 100%.
It always outperforms Bitcoin.
Yes, particularly at this point in the cycle, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on price action alone, I'm very bullish. On network model, it's growing faster. More people are coming to the network faster than that happened to Bitcoin at the same stage with the same number of users. There's more development going on it, more applications going on it. It's kind of like, and they're just reducing the supply with the, EIP 1559 and then ETH 2.0. There's like only 11% of all ETH left on exchanges. There's no supply, and that's going down every day. And demand is going up exponentially. And the only way, if you've got supply that's capped and demand going up exponentially, the only thing that's going to happen is price goes up exponentially. So I'm incredibly bullish ETH. So interesting enough, Ethereum is exactly mirroring the 2017 bull run of Bitcoin. And that should, from here, lead us to top out at about 20,000.
Wow.
Now, again, could we go further? It's possible, but it's exactly mirroring Bitcoin at this point.
And you believe that's this year? You think it will top out this year?
Well, between now and kind of, early next year.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily we peak in December. Everyone's kind of got that in their heads. I think this ETH 2.0 is probably going to be the top. So whenever that comes out, we don't even know yet.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming March.
In October, I started seeing the chart of Ethereum versus Bitcoin and looked like it was going to start outperforming, just a chart pattern and a hunch. And then I started digging into, okay, how do you value Bitcoin and Ethereum? So we've had the stock to flow model. But really what it was to me was also a network. And you use something called Metcalfe's law to value a network, which is basically a network has value proportionate to the number of people on the network and the number of interconnections they have with each other. Mm-hmm. So I could see that in Bitcoin, and you could pretty much prove it out by putting like number of active wallet addresses and the price of Bitcoin on a chart, and you basically get a very high correlated answer. And I could see people attacking anybody who talks about Ethereum or other tokens online. So I'm like, I need to find out how you price Ethereum, because I have a feeling it's exactly the same as Bitcoin. And what was interesting is I used the same mechanism and it's priced exactly the same way. But what was more surprising is the adoption of Ethereum was much faster than that of Bitcoin at the same stage. So I'm like, wow. And then you start realizing the number of things being built on it, the applications, the number of developers involved, and the speed of the increase of the number of users. So there's a lot of interconnections plus a lot of users. That was going to become very valuable. So then add a chart onto that again. Chart of Ethereum looked like it was going to break out, and that gave me everything I needed. Continue to show that, even Ethereum has been having more volume in certain days than Bitcoin has. The wallet address growth is faster than Bitcoin. In every way, it's outperforming Bitcoin, except in market cap. I think we call it the flippening when Ethereum is larger than the market cap of Bitcoin. That's nothing to say that I don't believe in Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Bitcoin is a different thing to Ethereum. Many hardcore Bitcoin believers think that all applications will be built on the Bitcoin blockchain. But I think that's more a hope than a reality. The reality is many different ecosystems will get traction for different things. And Ethereum right now has DeFi, NFTs, social tokens, all on it. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have to be money. The next part of the equation comes with the introduction of the EIC 1559 token, which essentially lowers the supply of Ethereum by burning Ethereum. And then there's the ETH 2.0, where we move to proof of stake, which again, will lower the gas fees, but also will lower supply even further. So it becomes a super scarce asset with massive use. So probability is it's going to do pretty well. My biggest bet, I think the biggest, clearest bet of all is Ethereum. If you say, if you could only own one asset over the next 12 months, what would it be? It would be Ethereum. Because it's the least risky with the highest rewards. Because of the massive changes happening. I understand there's risk that may not go through in the way, the format people think, and there's some other, questions being asked, and that's all fine and good. But I think probability is that you're going to end up with a reduced supply, massively increasing network usage, interconnectiveness of that network, and then you're going to go to proof of stake as well, which gets rid of the green argument. I think you're going to see institutional investment in the space. So I think ETH is the single bet that there is right now. Just trades like shit right now, so it needs to get some traction. But it feels like we're in for the double pump, the 2013 repeat.
Yeah, musicians make millions of one record album, and beating everything they had ever made on Spotify in their 20-year careers with one NFT sale. So
yeah, but they need to be careful not to extract from a community.
First thing that Ethereum reminded me of, the reason why I kind of quit CeFi to join DeFi was really it was so obvious that Ethereum was turning out to be a computing platform and a technology. And the most successful cloud computing platform is AWS. It's not a perfect analogy as I kind of dug into the details, but it does give you a sense of the scale and potential. AWS didn't start as a computing platform. It started as a storage platform. The first service it launched was a service called S3 for simple storage. And this is like one of the things that EIP 1559 achieves, that it gives this kind of elastic block size, right? It's able to absorb more computation based on demand. I think this is just like the very, very beginning. of building out a compute infrastructure. Right now, Ethereum itself hasn't scaled. To scale, it needs to go to ETH2. This is really an optimization for ETH1 right now. And that to me is how early it is, right? Right now, Ethereum, the amount of developers building on it is tiny. It's almost not visible compared to the number of programmers in the world. So for me, it's like Ethereum has made a very important software change that makes the system much more robust and self-regulating. But ultimately, like the really amazing applications that's going to be built on top have barely begun. We have like a handful of them. We have like Uniswap and Maker and Chainlink, but like the real ecosystem takes off when the value of the software above the ecosystem is worth more and more, takes up more mind share than the base layer itself, right? Nobody thinks about AWS today as a consumer. We just use Netflix and the bits just stream through like, you know, like water, and we don't think about it. That's the moment of success, and we're like not even 2% there. That's why I'm so excited to like wait for that future to arrive. At ARK, we were, you know, famously the first ETF to actually buy Bitcoin exposure through GBTC 2015. And definitely the store of asset narrative has been the driving force behind that, because it's so easy to understand, right? Digital gold. I don't think 1559 itself is the biggest catalyst for institutional adoption. I think the one is just the one they can most easily understand, which is the search for yield, right? Ethereum is unique. You know, back to David's question, what's unique about Ethereum versus everyone else? Ethereum is the only one that is like, that has apps. You know, when you care about computer system, you don't care about the one with the most elegant design or whatever. You care about the one that has the most applications. Ethereum has the most applications for DeFi and the only really effective platform for NFTs. So that's very important. And when institutions look for yield, the most natural place to go is Ethereum, because all the top DeFi protocols are on Ethereum. And secondarily, when the merge happens, Ethereum itself becomes a proof of stake blockchain, which is whose tokenomics basically generates yield, right? The staking rewards is a form of yield, and that is completely understandable. So I think that's what makes Ethereum very attractive from an institutional perspective. And once you can express yield, like that plugs in so naturally to so many of the products that exists in kind of CeFi banking, any kind of borrowing, any kind of lending protocols. Like they can plug into Ethereum, the whole DeFi ecosystem as a source of capital. That to me is like far more exciting than there's a fixed pile of money for gold. How do we divide it between gold and Bitcoin?
These analysts and experts clearly believe in the potential of Ethereum, with Raoul Pal saying his biggest and clearest bet is ETH, as it is the least risky and the highest reward. In addition to that, the excitement from experts James Wang and the Winklevoss twins is apparent, and they all share how exciting Ethereum is, especially in terms of its capability as a computing platform and technology. With that said, what do you think about what they have to say about Ethereum? Do you believe their price predictions and forecast? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, do click on subscribe to the channel so we can always keep you updated on cryptocurrencies. Till the next video, this is Crypto Revolution.